Yaz. I want to tell you about my 2 books that are on Amazon, okay? You can download them free with the trial membership from Kindle. The first book is Regain Your Power. If you're in a relationship and you feel like your partner has all the control in the relationship, maybe you're walking around on eggshells, you're afraid to approach them, it's going to tell you how to regain your power and be happy in the relationship, okay? And what you may be doing wrong, and that's why your partner has all the control in the relationship. The other book is Signs He's Not Into You, He's Wasting Your Time. There's a lot of people that are dating someone or in a relationship with somebody who's not really vested in the relationship. And we often are confused as to whether our partner really likes us or is into us or wants a future with us. And this book is going to give you signs and red flags of whether your partner is into you or he's just basically drifting and wasting your time. So go to Amazon and download the Kindle free trial membership. Doesn't cost you anything. And check it out. It may help you. Okay? And have a great day. Hi, you guys. It's Yaz. And tonight's episode is about signs your partner is cheating. Okay? And I'm also going to go into why people cheat. Now, let me get into why people cheat first, okay? I could write a book on cheating because I've seen it so much in my life, okay? But I'm going to give you the basics. So here's the thing. People cheat for a lot of different reasons. Some people say they cheat and they try to tell their partner it's because they weren't getting enough sex, or maybe their partner wasn't doing certain things sexually with them, or they use the excuse their partner's too busy. Now, let me clarify something. Sometimes you could be in a good relationship and your sex life could be great. You could be getting along great. Everything's going wonderful, and your partner could still cheat. So one of the things you have to understand is just because somebody cheats on you, it's not always a reflection on you, okay? So don't ever let the cheater, because this is what a lot of cheaters do, they flip the blame on you. And they're going to tell you, oh, well, that's because you weren't affectionate enough. That's because you never gave me enough time, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of times, some of these people that cheated on you were cheating on people their whole lives, okay? Because sometimes people that cheat need outside validation from other people. Sometimes they're thrill seekers. They want something new and exciting. They like variety. They don't want the same slice of pizza every night of the week, okay? And it's not always because of you, okay? Now, if you're in a committed relationship with somebody and they cheat on you, they always have the option to come to you and tell you, you know what, it's not working out. I think we should separate. And then if they want to go off and they want to explore other options or other partners, that's one thing. That's being respectful. But if they're going to cheat on you, that's a total disrespect of the relationship. And some people are very happy in their relationships and they want to cheat because they get a thrill from it. Because some people love the thrill of cheating. They love the feeling of knowing they got one over on you. Some people cheat for revenge. They get mad at you and they go out and they feel, I'm going to pay you back and I'm going to cheat and I'm going to be laughing behind your back because I was with somebody. Another thing that I want to bring up is if you catch your partner or you find out that your partner is cheating. Like we had a woman in the group who was married, over 40 years, and she found out her husband was cheating. And most definitely, it was probably not the first time he cheated on her, okay? It's just that a lot of times people don't recognize the signs that their partner is cheating and they're blindsided. So you could, if you're not aware of these things, you could wake up one day and all of a sudden your partner's leaving you and you had no clue. You never saw it coming. Why didn't you see it coming? Because you didn't recognize the signs that your partner is cheating on you. And I'm going to go through some of the signs. Now, when I go through this, one of the things I want to explain to you guys is this. Just because you see like one of these signs doesn't necessarily mean your partner is cheating. What this is meant to do is make you open your eyes, look at your whole relationship and evaluate and to see, are you seeing a combination of these type of signs, these red flags? Then in most cases, your partner probably is cheating on you, okay? But you have to look at everything. And the other thing I want to bring up is this. You have to take into consideration what else is going on in your partner's life. Are they going through something traumatic in their life? Have they lost a loved one? Has something major happened in their life for them to feel a certain way or to be different than they normally are? Okay? So I'm going to go through the signs that your partner could be cheating. Okay, number 1, they hide their phone. Okay, classic, you guys. A lot of times they guard their phone, and like if they go to the bathroom, they're not going to leave the phone on the side next to you. They always have their phone on them. When they go to bed, they have the phone right next to them on the side. Another sign that your partner could be cheating is they have their phone facing down, okay? No matter where you go, their phone is facing down. Why is their phone facing down? Because they're afraid of a notification coming up. The other thing you want to be aware of is whether your partner's phone, the volume is on. Okay, this is a biggie, and a lot of people don't realize this because, take a look at your partner's phone. If you suspect your partner is cheating, and every time you're with them, you see that their phone is on vibrate or it's on silent, that could be a red flag that they're afraid that a notification will come up. Now, there's some cheaters that are smooth, you guys. There's some cheaters that have dating apps or have other apps, and the minute they come home to their partner, they delete those apps. So you would never know. There's some partners that are so good, all right, that they'll erase everything on their phone, come home, and if you suspect them of cheating, they'll say, here, take my phone. You could look at my phone, because they've already erased everything off the phone. Or there are some partners that are so clever, they could have another phone in their car. Okay. I knew a girl, she was dating a guy and he had an extra phone in his car. We called it the cheating phone. Okay. So if you see any of these kinds of signs, be aware of this. I'm doing this podcast to let you guys know, when you have that gut feeling, trust your gut, okay? Now, a classic sign, all right? Besides the fact that they always have a password on their phone. Now, a lot of people have passwords on the phone, so I wouldn't go by that, all right? Because a lot of people have passwords on their phone, in case they lose their phone, they go out. But a classic sign that somebody is cheating on you, this is probably one of the biggest, is that they ghost, okay? You try to contact them and they don't answer their phone all night. Why don't they answer their phone? Because they're cheating on you, okay? What a lot of them will do is they will text you, but they won't pick up the phone to call you because that other person is around. So be aware of that. That's why I tell you, it's not just about them texting you and saying, hey, how you doing? I'm at work, blah, blah, blah. See if they get on that phone and talk to you, because a lot of them won't. And the other thing that you got to be aware of too is I've seen situations where people were cheating and the people they were cheating with were actually in on it, and they would be right with the person. You've seen this also, you guys, on that show Cheaters, where, they'll call their partner and they're with the person they're cheating with, and they're picking up the phone and saying, yeah, I'm at work. Love you too. Okay. And meanwhile, that person knows they're cheating and they're there too. That's somebody who's really shady. But a lot of things you got to keep in mind is that a lot of excuses they will make. A lot of cheaters will always make excuses why they can't spend time with you. That's another red flag, a sign somebody is cheating on you, is that they don't make time to spend with you, or they make excuses not to want to spend time with you, okay? A big one is they always say they're working, all right? So be aware of that. Now, another sign that somebody could be cheating is if all of a sudden you see this person is giving you gifts, okay? They're guilt gifts. In other words, they feel a sense of guilt because they know they're cheating on you, so they do something special for you. I knew somebody, her boyfriend was cheating on her, and he was a very cheap type of guy, and out of nowhere, he tells her he wants to buy her all brand new tires that was going to run a couple of $100. And she was like, I don't understand why all of a sudden he wants to buy all this when he's so cheap. He doesn't even want to spend for a cup of coffee. All right. And lo and behold, later on, she found out he was cheating. All right. So beware of any kind of gifts they give you that is out of the ordinary. In other words, it's not because of a birthday. It's not because of Christmas or a holiday. It's, just out of the blue, and they give you a gift and they say, oh, I just want to show you how much I love you so much. Okay. Now, I don't want you guys to think, oh, if somebody gives you a gift like that they're cheating. All right. Like I said in the beginning of this podcast, you have to look at all of the signs and see if it all fits together, all right? Another thing is, another sign that your partner is cheating is if all of a sudden they're very mean and nasty at you for no reason, okay? You're not doing anything wrong and they're always picking a fight at you. That is a way for them to justify their cheating. A classic one, you guys, is when they pick a fight on you and they do it so they can take off and go see that other person. This happens a lot. A lot of people in relationships where one partner is cheating, what that partner will do to get out is they'll pick a fight so that they could walk out the door. So you need to be aware of all these things. Another thing you need to be aware of is if they have a loss of interest in sex. This is a big one, all right? We had another woman in the group who said that her fiance didn't want to have sex with her. It was like 6 months or something like that. Lo and behold, he was cheating on her, okay? So remember this, most times if they're not having sex with you, you could pretty much trust and believe that they're having sex with somebody, all right? That's not normal behavior to go long periods of time without sex with their partner, all right? Unless I said there maybe something major happened in their life, okay? And that's why you got to look at everything. But I'm just giving you, some of the red flags. The other thing that you have to be aware of, another sign that somebody could be cheating on you or your partner's cheating on you is pretty much they don't want to be around you, okay? They don't want to spend time with you. They want to stay to themselves. You feel like even though you're with them, they're not really with you. Mentally. like their mind is somewhere else. That is a big, big red flag, you guys. If you are with somebody and you feel like you're having conversation with them, but they're not really, they're not really interested in the conversation. They're not, taking it in. You feel like, you're having a conversation with yourself and they're not really interested in making conversation, and they're on the phone the whole time, or they're not, they're in their own little world. That could be a sign that they are cheating on you. But like I said, you got to look at everything. Don't start accusing anybody until, you look at all of this. All right. And you know what you're doing. All right. Always trust your gut. Another classic sign your partner is cheating is on their phone. All of a sudden you see in their contacts or in their recent calls names of people you've never seen before. What a lot of cheaters will do is they will change the name of the person that they're cheating with. In other words, they might put on their laundromat. Okay, they may put like laundromat or dry cleaning or gas station. And meanwhile, these could be all different girls, or if it's the opposite, all different guys or partner to partner. They use code names as their contacts instead of using the regular person's name that they're cheating with. So be aware of that. Another sign your partner could be cheating on you is that one of their friends make a remark that doesn't sound right. Okay, now what I mean by this is, let's say you're at a get-together with them and their friends, or, they're close people, they're not so much their family, but more their friends, and somebody makes a remark and says something to the effect like, oh, so-and-so is always out all the time, or heard you had a good time last night, and elbows them. These are all signs that God is giving you that something is not right. And you need to pick up on these things, you guys. You need to keep your eyes open and stay woke, because this is where a lot of people get blindsided because they didn't pick up on these little things. When your gut is telling you something, it doesn't seem right, it doesn't sound right, well then guess what? It's not right, all right? Trust yourself. Will you please trust yourself? There's something not right, and you have to, watch and be observant and take it all in to make sure that somebody is not pulling one over on you, okay? Another thing that you have to be aware of is that when the person's attitude, they've checked out and they don't care about what you say, all right? Let's say that you're having problems in your relationship and you keep trying to mend it with them, and you keep trying to, bring that romance back, or try to get closer to that person, and that person just has an attitude of indifference. That person just could care less. That person could care less whether they sleep with you in the bed at night or whether they go to sleep and they leave in the morning, okay? Another sign that somebody or your partner is cheating on you is they wear a lot of cologne or perfume, okay? A lot of times when people are cheating, they load on the cologne, they load on the perfume, they're very obsessed with how they look because they're out to impress, all right? All of that is not necessarily for you. Let's say that your partner's getting ready to go, out for the day. He's not spending the day with you, or she's not spending the day with you, and they're going over the top to really look good and look sexy and look beyond just going out. It's because a lot of times they're trying to impress somebody. They're either, trying to impress somebody that they could run into, or they're going to see somebody. So be aware of that if they're very, very obsessed with their looks. Now, I'm not saying your partner can't take pride in how they look, but there's a subtle difference, you guys, from somebody taking pride in how they look and somebody really obsessed with it. So because they're on the hunt or they're trying to impress somebody that they are cheating with, okay? A classic one, like I said before, is that they won't get on the phone, all right, when you don't know where they are. Another thing that you have to remember is that they won't get on the phone, like I said, because there could be somebody there and they don't want you to know where they're at. And there are cases where they will get on the phone and the other person is sitting there that they're cheating with that may be in on it. So, you got to know your partner, okay? Another classic sign is they're going out all hours of the night. And when you ask them about it, they're not clear on what they're doing when you ask, okay? You get a lot of gaslighting. They gaslight you. When you ask them, where were you? What were you doing last night? They'll say something like, why are you always questioning me? Why are you so insecure? There's something wrong with you. What they're going to do, you guys, they're going to deflect it. They're going to flip it back on you to take any onus off them so that they can't be on the spot. All right? Don't let anybody gaslight you. That's what they're going to say. All right? Or they'll say something like, oh, I forgot. We just went to a couple places. I don't remember exactly. Okay? They know where they went. All right? Don't believe the nonsense, because here's the biggest clue. If they're leaving you in a sense of confusion, then they're not being transparent with you. All right? That's it. Plain and simple. All right? If you're asking them a question and you can't get a straightforward answer, then they're giving you the BS. They're gaslighting you because they have something to hide. Okay? These are all signs, you guys. Another thing, I just added this one on, that your partner could be cheating is if their seat, okay, in their car is back. All right? Now, I'm not saying this is for everybody, but let's say you get in your partner's car and you notice that the seat is pushed all the way back. I know people that this actually happened to. And that was, something that struck her wrong. And lo and behold, he was cheating and he had a chick in his car, okay? The other thing is that, okay, this is another big one that you guys need to be aware of, that your partner's cheating, right? Is like, for instance, when we're talking about men to women, it could go for anybody, women to men, partner to partner, vice versa. But if they're always talking about a special friend, okay, let's say it's your guy and he's always bringing up this girl's name all the time. Oh, she's so cool and I hang out with her. Or, that's my home girl, we're cool, we're tight like that, and everything like that. You need to be aware that chick he's talking about as his, his good friend, good, quote unquote, good friend, could be more than just a friend, if he keeps bringing the name up a lot. Now, I'm not saying that it couldn't just be a friend, all right? But keep your antenna up and be aware that person could be somebody more. You got to put it all together. It's a puzzle that you put all together. And, if you see a lot of these signs, it gives you a clue that, something's not right here. All right. Somebody's not, being honest here, and somebody is probably cheating. Now, here's another one. they still have their dating apps on their phone and they haven't deleted them. And it's been a couple weeks, a couple months, and you're in an exclusive relationship, and they use the excuse saying, oh, I forgot to delete them. Okay? That is just straight out bullshit. Okay? And do not believe that. Once they became in a relationship with you, they know enough. People are on their phone every day. You mean to tell me that they don't see those dating apps on there? Come on, you guys. You got to be smarter than that. So if they give you that excuse and tell you, oh, well, I forgot that was on my phone, all right, that is a red flag. And in which case, you could go on the dating app and see if you see their profile on there, okay? And I've heard excuses from people that I have talked to and advised where they told me, he was on the dating app and he said he just liked to go on there and look, okay? These are all excuses. He's on there for a reason, okay? And I find that a lot of women make excuses. They sit there and they say, oh, well, he's not doing anything wrong. How do you know he's not doing anything wrong? Okay? How would he feel if you had the dating apps on your phone? All right? These, you guys, you can't just believe everything you hear. You have to look at the big picture. You have to look at how this person treats you. And this is the biggest one, you guys. How they treat you. Now, when somebody really wants to be around you and they like you, okay, you're not even going to question it. You're not going to question it. People that suspect their partner of cheating is because a lot of times their partners are distant. A lot of times their partners are distant, And, what's really funny, the other day I was watching, the Chris Watts murder mystery. And lo and behold, when I was watching it, they were talking about how he was distant with his wife, how she felt that he was distant with his wife. This is the guy that killed his wife and his kids, all right? It was terrible. And as soon as I heard they said he was distant with his wife, okay, she felt the distance. They were going to get a divorce right before he murdered her and murdered the kids. I knew right then and there he had a girlfriend, which he did have a girlfriend, okay? So I'm making you guys aware of these things, okay? Now, another red flag that your partner is cheating, okay, is when they won't add you to their social media pages. Now, this one is debatable because I've debated this out with people. And people have said to me, oh, well, that's not necessarily true. There's no need. Why isn't there a need? What are you hiding? If you have nothing to hide, then what is the problem? Okay? When somebody doesn't want to add you to their, let's say, Facebook page, it's because they're afraid that you're going to see what they post, who's on there, who's commenting, all right, and all the other things. They're afraid you're going to post something and say something lovey-dovey when they're talking to some other girl, all right? So if you're in a relationship with somebody, you make sure that they add you to their social media pages. And if they have a problem with that, that is a straight up red flag. Okay. And I also say, they have to put in a relationship with you if you are in an exclusive relationship. And this is another debatable one because people come back and say, well, I don't like people knowing my business, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, here's the thing, all right? If you're with your partner and you're proud of your partner, you should not be ashamed. You should not care what other people on your page, these are supposed to be your friends and family, right? Or people that are closer to you. So what you're basically saying is that you're afraid of what people will think of your partner or that you're in a relationship. No, it's all an excuse, you guys. It's all an excuse, and don't believe it, all right? Because I know a lot, not a little, a lot of guys on Facebook that are married in relationships that do not put in a relationship or married. And why? Why? Because they are hitting up women left and right in the inbox, okay? I mean, even me personally, I've got hit up by tons. And I can't tell you how many of them were married or in a relationship, okay? When I looked deeper and I really saw, So you need to be aware of these things, all right? Now, another sign your partner is cheating is when they don't want to stay over your place, okay? This is another biggie. They come to see you. See, this is where a lot of people get fooled. They come to see you. They have a good time with you. They have sex with you. And then they give you an excuse like, I got to get up early in the morning, okay? Now, there could be cases where they do have to get up early. Let's say it's a weekday, all right? But if it's a weekend and they don't have to get up early, or they're making an excuse like, I got to hit the car wash at 5 a.m., okay, this should, antenna go up. This should be a red flag. That just doesn't seem right. This person never wants to stay over. Why don't they want to stay over? Because they got another chick somewhere that they got to report to, or another guy somewhere that they have to report to. All right? So you need to be aware of that, okay? Another sign your partner could be cheating is, let's say you're talking to them and then all of a sudden they keep blowing you off the phone and they give you an excuse like, can I call you back? That's my cousin. All right. And it's always the same excuse. That's my cousin. That's my sister. That's my aunt. It's always the same. If you see this happening a lot, you guys, that could be the other person calling in on your call. All right. So be aware of these things. I'm not saying it couldn't be the cousin or the aunt or whatever, but if you see a pattern of this, that you got to be aware of these things. Okay. Another thing, like I said before, is a lot of times the real slick ones, the real slick cheaters will erase everything off the phone and they'll say, well, you could check my phone and, everything's been erased already because they were sure to erase that before they, gave you the phone to look at. Okay. Now, another thing that you want to be aware of is when they can't be clear on what they're doing when you ask them. Now, another thing you have to remember is a lot of times because cheaters are out there and maybe they're wining and dining that other person, they don't got money for you, okay? So now you tell your partner, well, I really wanted to go to this restaurant on Saturday night. And they tell you, I don't have the money for that. I had to loan my brother $1,000 to go get his car fixed. Okay. Now all of a sudden you're hearing excuses. They have no money. Why do they have no money? Because they're spending it on the other person. All right. So if you see all of a sudden your partner's all of a sudden crying poverty and they can't spend money anymore to go out or to date you or something like that, that could be a red flag that they are cheating and they're spending their money, or they could be giving that other person gifts, okay? The biggest one, like I said before, you guys, is that they just don't care. They don't care about fixing the relationship. They're distant. They have checked out. They're there in body, but you feel alone in the relationship. And this happens a lot. It happens to a lot of people, okay? Because especially, if they've been married a while or whatever, and they're comfortable in the relationship, and that person, just has no interest in trying to, have fun with you anymore. It's kind of like they got bored in the relationship, or they don't care if you walk out. They don't care if they walk out. Well, you know why they don't care? Because they got somebody on the side waiting over there, all right? Because if they don't have somebody on the side waiting over there, then guess what? They'd care. Now, I'm not saying, everybody with that attitude would, definitely has somebody on the side, but most times they do. They don't just walk away without having a backup plan most of the time. So be aware of that, you guys. Trust me when I tell you, I know what I'm talking about. I've seen a lot of this go on in my life with a lot of people, all right? Another thing, too, that your partner could be cheating is they're less affectionate, all right? Another thing they do is let's say you go out with them and this is a case where you guys don't live together and they cut the date off short. All right. They say something like, let's say you go out on like a Friday or Saturday night and they cut the date off short at like 9:30. And they say, listen, I really got to go. I got to go help my mother decorate her apartment. Okay. All right. Meanwhile, they're going to meet somebody else. Now, if you are in a situation like that with somebody that you're in a relationship with and they cut the date short and they give you some lame ass excuse, it just doesn't make sense. You'll feel it. Trust your gut. Remember what I tell you. Trust your gut. If it doesn't sound right, then most likely it's not right, that they're giving you, the BS, all right? So what you do later is you try calling them to see if they pick up on the phone, okay? Also, you guys, go listen to my podcast on how to bust a cheater, all right? That's a great podcast, if you want to learn how to bust a cheater, all right? Another sign your partner could be cheating is when they say they're working all weekend. Classic lie, okay? Like I told you guys, one of the biggest excuses cheaters use is say they're working. So you better be sure that if they're telling you that is where they're at, okay? It's a classic lie. In a lot of cases, people say, I'm working all weekend, and then they don't pick up their phone the whole time, okay? So, listen, when people are on the up and up, there will be no games. You will not be sitting there wondering where they are. They will not be ghosting. If you see any of this kind of nonsense, then you're dealing with somebody who's playing game on you, all right? It's as clear as that, bottom line, all right? Another thing is a sign that your partner is cheating on you. This goes for, maybe you're not living together, is when they really don't care if they see you or not, okay? Why? Because they're seeing somebody else. So they're trying to figure out who they're going to see. This happens a lot where, you're going out with somebody and you're dating that person, you're exclusive, and they leave you hanging for the weekend. In other words, it's now a Thursday and you don't know whether you're seeing them or not because they say to you, I got to let you know. I may have to work this weekend. I got to let you know, okay? All right, that's another classic lie because most time people have their work schedule. That's why you got to look at everything. What kind of work do they do? Are they giving me the BS? Look at the pattern. See if they are at their job. Blah, blah, blah. All right? One other thing I have to bring up, you guys, is a cheater. One of the most common things a lot of cheaters do is they tell you they're going to bed, let's say at 8, 9 o'clock, okay? And they tell you, I'm tired, I'm going to lay down, I'm going to go to bed. And meanwhile, they're out. They're going to meet somebody else, all right? This happens with a lot of people that don't live with the partner, or they could be in long-distance relationships. That's why I tell you, with the long-distance relationships are very hard, Very hard. It's hard to have a relationship with somebody who lives next door, much less have a relationship with somebody long distance, because you can't check them. You don't know what they're doing, okay? And a lot of times, if they can, they will, okay? Because they feel there's no way you can ever check them, all right? So you got to be aware of that. And a lot of times, if that happens to you, let's say, and it's a weekend, and they tell you it's a Friday or Saturday night, and they tell you they're going to bed at like 8, 9 o'clock, you guys, that's a classic cheater lie. Classic cheater lie. And especially if they don't have work the next day, you need to be aware of it, okay? They're telling you that so that you have no way to check them. And a lot of times they're going to meet somebody else, or they have somebody come into their place. And just don't fall for when you ask them a question about anything that doesn't seem right. And what they will try to do is they will, like I told you before, they're going to gaslight you and try to make you think you're crazy, where you're going to get to a point where you start to second guess yourself and say, maybe I'm reading into things too much. Maybe I'm too much on top of this person, No, trust your gut. If it doesn't seem right and they're not giving you a clear answer, or everything is always, vague, everything's vague, and you never know, am I going to see them? Are they going to call me back? Or anything like that. This is somebody who doesn't really care much about you, okay? And a lot of times, they could be playing game on you. So you need to be aware of that. They'll say things like you're insecure, you're crazy, you don't know what you're talking about, you need to stop worrying about what I'm doing, I'm not doing anything, blah, 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 okay? So I hope these things help you. And the other thing that you have to remember is that it's not always about you doing anything wrong. Like I told you in the beginning, sometimes people just cheat because they love the thrill of it, okay? I had a guy friend of mine who, cheated on his wife, and I said to him, why did you do that, Why did you cheat on her, And he said, I just loved the thrill of cheating. She didn't do anything wrong. I had a great relationship. I still have a great relationship with her today, but I just loved the thrill of cheating. And I said to him, well, would you cheat on somebody in the future? And you know what he said to me? He said, I can't say that I wouldn't. He said, I probably would cheat again. Okay? That's why I tell you, most of the times, once a cheater, 99% of the time, they will cheat again. The person's really, really, got to be an extraordinary person that wants to change, okay? A lot of times people that cheat, they're very narcissistic, or they're very selfish and it's about them, okay? Or they just want their cake and eat it too. It's not even that you did anything wrong. It's just that they get bored and they want variety. They want something new, okay? So, these are just a couple of things for you to watch out for and make note of, okay? I hope that helps you. If it did, please hit the subscribe button and share, and have a great day. Are you having a problem in your dating or relationship life and you need a question answered? Well, go to my website. The link is in the podcast description, and you'll see how you can ask Yaz a question and get it answered confidentially. So go to the podcast description and look for the link where it talks about how Yaz will answer your question. Today's show is brought to you by Audible. Audible is offering our listeners a free audiobook with a 30-day trial membership. That's a 30-day trial membership, you guys. It doesn't cost you anything, and you get a free audiobook. You can cancel anytime. Just go to tinyurl.com/AskYazNow and browse all the different selections. They have a lot of different relationship and dating books on there. You can listen to them on the train, on the bus, if you're driving. So download a title free and start listening. It's that easy. The link is in my podcast description. The link is tinyurl.com/AskYazNow.